I like your hood, Dave.
Thanks. Thanks. I like your space helmet.
Thank you.
I like your space helmet.
It's not space safe though. It's
No?
not. It's not space certified.
Why are we wearing a hood and a helmet?
Yeah, and why is the Millennium Falcon behind me? You see that?
Because Happy May the 4th, Seth.
Happy May the 4th, Dave. So unlike the other movies from this, these lists of movies that we've been going through, what we're going to be talking about tonight is something that not only have we seen
multiple, like
dozens of times,
27s of times.
27s or 20, at least late 20 teens.
What movie are we talking about?
Star Wars Episode 1.
The Phantom Menace.
The Phantom Menace.
The Phantom Menace. It's one of my personal favorite Star Wars movies that I've watched.
Yeah. And to be clear, there's none that you haven't watched. The internet desperately needs more Star Wars YouTube content.
Right, and we're here to fulfill that gap.
Yeah,
we're gonna fill this.
There are people out there just wringing their hands, hoping that
where's the next Star Wars?
There's this movie I saw called Star Wars. There's a series of them, and there's nowhere I can go to just listen to just people's opinions of them. So let's just jump into it. And I want to be clear about us and our relationship with Star Wars and this movie, Star Wars in general. This movie in particular is that all Star Wars, we love it all. We love all Star Wars. Some's better. Some are, there's some better Star Wars than other Star Wars.
And there were some worse Star Wars than other Star Wars.
Yeah. That's a fair statement. This movie may be better or worse than some of the other ones. I don't know. Do you know?
I don't know, but I know this is actually one of my personal favorites. So,
yeah, and I don't even care. I don't care what the better. I love this movie. There's problems with it. There's problems with every Star Wars movie. I don't care. It's all Star Wars. I have fun with
Star
it all.
Wars in the end.
Guys, just calm down.
You know what though? Like again, and I've said this before. I'm going to stick by this. If a movie, especially a Star Wars movie, is going to ruin your childhood, then you need to order a pizza and buy some new socks, or at least wash the ones you have.
Wash the ones you have.
Wash because you haven't.
We're not asking a whole lot of you.
So this came out in 1999, and this was our first. This was like our. I mean, like we had the original trilogy growing up, but this was like our first Star Wars we could do as adults.
Well, it was the first Star Wars that we could get into our vehicles and drive to.
Right.
Unsupervised.
We saw this. I remember it was an evening showing, probably like a later night showing, and we saw this with a group of people. And I loved it. I thought it was great. I walked out thinking everyone thought the same thing. I mean, like, sure, there were a couple times where I was like, okay, well, that's new for Star Wars. But
well, I'm gonna take that. Okay. Let me walk this back a little bit because my relationship with the movie started before it even came out. I remember being on like the message boards when the trailer hit. I was in college in Baltimore. It took like 2.5 hours to download the trailer. Still probably the best Star Wars trailer. Like the journey begins, and you see like the Gungan on the thing coming through the mist. I just shit myself and like passed out for I think like a month and a half after watching that. Fast forward after having watched that and convinced that this is going to be the best movie of all time. It's got the guy from Trainspotting. It's got the dude from Rob Roy. And I remember opening up the Newsweek and reading like furiously and like reading the worst review that I've like read of anything. It probably wasn't. It was probably like lukewarm, but I was expecting just like, but it was like, and I was crushed.
See, I remember the reviews not being that bad. I mean, like it wasn't a bomb. It made a lot of money. People like there was nothing like it's a bad movie. Don't go see it. Like
Yeah.
I feel like the reviews for it now are way worse than it was then. I remember it took me a good year to realize that people actually didn't like this movie a whole lot. I thought like everyone had the same thrill that you and I did because like we saw this together in the theaters 5 times, to the point where there was one time where you were like, all right guys, like this is going to be a slow part, let's go have a cigarette, don't smoke. But it was the 90s. You could smoke then, but not, you can't do it now. So let's get into what we love about it, but let's talk about the one thing that I feel like is like some kind of like, it's like generally looked at as like the worst part of the movie, which we're gonna dispel that tonight. And it's a character called Jar Jar Binks, and there are so many worse things in other Star Wars movies and this movie, and not like other than that character. That character is fine. Shut up. I want to bring up like, multiple wonderful things about this movie. And the first one is I want to say that this movie contains the most like hands down, outside of Carrie Fisher with the buns on her over her ears, the most adorable actor and hairstyle in any of the Star Warses, and that's Ewan McGregor with the little spiky hair, and he has like, for no reason, he has like a little ponytail sticking out here, and then like he has like like it doesn't make sense, and it's just adorable, and Ewan McGregor looks like he is having the best time in this movie. So undeniably, outside of Carrie Fisher and her amazing episode 4 hair, he has the best like haircut / just like cuteness outside of Carrie Fisher.
All right, well, listen, this is when we start our new segment called Wonderful Hairstyles Throughout Star Wars History, Episode 1. I also like Padme goes through some insane hair styles.
She's like, covered in cloaks. I love it. She's covered in cloaks.
There's that scene with her standing when like the siege of Theed or whatever you want to call it, when the battle droids have landed and they're starting to like encroach in the city, and she's standing at the window.
Oh yeah.
I mean the things that she wears, and she has like this cloak with like light bulbs and like her hair, and she's like she paints her face and puts dots and a dot and a smile and then like eyebrows. I mean, maybe not all of that, but like the absurdity of like, it's right after my favorite Star Wars actor or a character of all time, C.O. Bibble, says we're being invaded or something like that. It's just like, I better put on my invasion face.
We get Palpatine for the first time. Like, well, not for the first time, but like as Palpatine. Mm-hmm. Like we get a name for the Emperor. And I think this is peak Palpatine.
This movie or the prequels in general?
Just like of him in any movie, because he's like, so he's very spry. He like walks like he's very spry. He's not covered in cloaks yet. So he like he doesn't move very slowly in all the other movies. He starts moving slower and slower.
It's before like his hip dysplasia. Yeah, this is peak Palpatine. This wasn't peak Sidious or peak Emperor or whatever.
And then can we talk about Qui-Gon?
Yes.
But like I think he's wonderful in this movie. But don't you think he's probably the worst Jedi ever?
Yeah.
He makes all the bad decisions, and and I know a lot of people are like, they said like this ruined the midi-chlorians thing, ruined it. But then if you look back at it, he's really the only one talking about it.
Yeah, he's the only one hyping it, really.
Right. So in my head canon, he's like, it's just some fucking theory that he has.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, okay. Like they're all like, all right, well like.
What's great about his character though, like, yeah, you are right. But he's played so elegantly and eloquently that it's just like you said, like I'll follow that guy in a battle.
Right. He's it sounds like everything he's talking. He's the chosen one. I don't know how he knows it, but he knows it. So let's do it.
Yeah, he met a virgins in the Force. Is
That's
what
right.
the
It's a virgins. It's
yeah.
a virgins.
It's a good word. I don't use that enough.
I don't know what it
It's
means,
not
but it's
something
great.
I don't. But I think next time I go to a 7-Eleven, I'm going to ask where their virgins is.
I also love how the kind of getting off Qui-Gon. I love how um, when they're finally all together, they get Anakin on the ship, and he's sad about his mom, and it mirrors Episode 4 because the entire time Padme's like, "They're killing my people. My people are dying." You never see this. Everyone on Naboo looks like they're having their best 1999 Olive Garden life. But they
Yes.
like they do, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but you never see anyone die. And like they're like, they're dying, and so just assume that they are dying, right? Like the separatists are killing them. Anakin's like, oh, I'm sad about my mom, and she's like, oh, it's all right, and which is very like Luke is like, I lost Ben, and meanwhile Leia just
Yeah.
lost her whole planet.
Yes. No,
And
it's such a good point. Yeah.
it's almost like the way he's sitting there, she puts something on his shoulder, Anakin's sitting there, she puts something on his shoulder, Padme puts something on his shoulder, and it's almost like they knew it. Definitely the Star Wars ladies are way more like built for this war than the men. Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's ultimately
At least the Skywalker men.
at least the Skywalker men, right?
Yeah.
So unlike our old ones, unlike our other videos, right? You did it. What? No.
The strap broke.
Oh,
We got to stop. All right, I'm back.
all right. Okay, you're back. You right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's gone. I mean, you can get a new strap though. So unlike our other videos where there is a lack of research that we do. I actually went back and I looked up a lot of characters in this movie that may not get a lot of playtime. And if you'll indulge me, I'd like to go through them and discuss them.
yeah.
Okay. So we're going to start with the very beginning of the movie, the lady pilot. Like right before they get onto the ship, you don't even see the Jedi yet, and like
She has the first lines in the movie, I think.
yeah, she has the first lines of the movie, and I'm
Yeah.
like, what's her story? And she always dies.
All right, keep going.
Someone you brought up earlier, Governor C.O. Bibble,
Yeah.
who is the governor, I guess, of the city on Naboo.
Of Theed, yeah.
Is that what it's called?
That's yeah.
Okay.
It's the capital city of Naboo.
Which they never said in the movie, and they never said this guy's name in the movie either.
Which I like you calling it like Olive Garden land. Because it totally is.
They're living their best 1990 Olive Garden life, but 1999 Olive Garden life. But whatever. He is the grumpiest. It doesn't matter who it is. It could be like his own people or the separatists or whatever. He has a negative word to say about everything. Anytime someone brings something up, he's like, "Oh, that's not gonna work."
Yeah. That is a legitimate personality that you have to contend with in life.
I love speaking of people on the boot. I love I believe I'm saying this right, Captain Panaka.
Panaka.
Yeah. Who feels like the only person who knows where anything is or how to do anything.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Moving forward, I love the blind gypsy lady on Tatooine.
The one who says a storm is coming.
There's a storm coming up, Annie, and like first of all, like her shack is shit. Like it's like two sheets that are like safety pinned to the wall, and it's like there's a storm coming. Like your business is gone. And my favorite, not favorite, but like one of my favorites, is Sebulba.
Oh yeah.
Like, and he like survives after this. Like he survives the pod race, and you just think that he's gonna go and terrorize some other kids. I guess that's what he spends the rest of his
days doing.
That's all he does is he's like some Scooby-Doo villain or something that's like always after the kid, like trying to get the better of the kids.
Or he just turned his life around. You never know. He could have been like a great sort of salvation story.
Of course, speaking of the pod race, which was like one of the best sequences in the movie, it still holds up. Such a great fun sequence. Our favorite contestant in it ever,
Ben Quadrinaros.
Ben Quadrinaros.
Yeah, his power coupling.
So here's
Star Wars is just the best.
Here's a theory. Here's a theory, right? We're on Tatooine. Ben Quadrinaros, one of like the best. I mean, he has to be good, or not. Maybe he's not good. Maybe this happens to him all the time.
I think you have to qualify. No, well, who knows? But
think of it this way: Obi-Wan, after Episode 3, and when we meet him, kind of originally in Episode 4, what's his name? Ben. And this is Ben Quadrinaros. Like, you think of the word, like the name Obi-Wan, that doesn't scream Ben.
So wait, okay.
Yeah.
The Ben Kenobi, the Obi-Wan series is him getting to Tatooine.
Yes.
Dejected and meeting a dejected Ben Quadrinaros.
Ben Quadrinaros.
And they sort of couple up. They go on some adventures.
And he takes on the name Ben. Yeah, no,
because ultimately I think Ben Quadrinaros is like dies in his arms.
Right. Like right away at the event, like right at the beginning of the adventure, like, you know,
he like chokes on a chicken nugget or something.
But like, why would you name a character Ben when, like, you know, like one of your main characters is gonna go by that name, and then eventually, like, they're gonna name freaking Kylo Ben. It all comes back to Quadrinaros.
That's amazing.
It all comes back. Like, think about it.
Do you think Ben Solo knows his real namesake? Maybe that's what like really freaked him out. That's what freaked him out.
Or maybe it is. Yeah, maybe maybe like that's, or maybe that's who Snoke really was.
Was just like you add a little water to Ben Quadrinaros and he turns into like a 7-foot tall zombie man.
We haven't talked about like the best character in this.
Darth Maul. Yeah.
We're about to end this, and we're like, well, there's nobody else to talk about.
Yeah, there's no sequence that we don't need to. Yeah.
We end, the best, like one of my top 10 favorite Star Wars characters ever. People don't like this movie, and I say this is one of the, like it gave us one of the best antagonists of like the entire saga.
I remember he was in promotional material. He was very, very heavily present. Like I remember like the card backs of all the toys, like it was kind of like his face was looming in the back. So I kind of expected more from him, but what we got when the double doors opened and you see him holding the lightsaber out, just the reveal of a double bladed lightsaber. It's fantastic.
Yeah. And it
what
is
a phenomenal
one of the top
reveal.
5 Star Wars fights, lightsaber fights of all time, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Yeah. It had everything, and it just introduced us. I remember walking out so exhilarated just because of that. Like I mean, to be honest, there were parts that I was a little leery, like things that kind of threw me off, and just my sensibilities as a 19-year-old Star Wars sophisticate, which all of the internet is at this point apparently.
We broke it. We
broke the movie down. I think people can now like walk away with a better sense of this movie and a better sense of their place in the fandom as a whole, and just say like, you know what, these guys are right. I can like this movie. I can be me. It's all about being me. It's all about being me.
Happy Star Wars Day.
Happy Star Wars Day.